Hello everyone, welcome to the introduction of what is hopefully going to be the start of a fairly long-running series. So, I am Aaron at KC Media. This here is Darren, the other character you will often see is Cade. These two will be having recorded their travels throughout the lands of Eorzea and FF14. This series is broken into a number of shorter videos. One set, following Darren here, will be covering the primary MSQ. Kadir will be taking the lead when it comes to side quests in the different zones and some particulars of the Blue Quest series. Between the two of them, you will see a number of videos largely covering cutscenes and conversations with NPCs in all of these quests. Depending on how people feel, we can either include footage of some of the duties that will take place, or we can kind of have me narrate what is occurring during it and skip it over to just keep it focused on the conversations. My main focus is to cover the lore within the FF14 series and kind of enable people to be able to quickly search up lore either for a zone or tied to a class quest series, or, as I said, in the MSQ. Clipping will be turned on for these YouTube videos, so if you are a YouTuber yourself who wants to do lore content, you can feel free to clip and use footage from these videos. Just please give credit when you do so. And yeah, there will be a playlist that these videos are attached to, and they will be clearly labelled with whether they are MSQ, class role quests, zone quests, blue quests, and what level appropriate they are, to try and make sure that no one accidentally clicks on a video and gets spoiled for something that they haven't done and wanted to be unspoiled by. So yes, I hope everyone enjoys the series, and yeah, we'll see where we go. I apologise to those who are trying to watch all three of the starting zone quest areas. This video will be a standalone video at the start of the playlist, but will also be at the start of each of the free zone quest videos. We are chaptering it though, so that you can skip this. So yeah, tell us what you think in the comments below, and thank you for watching. Hello everyone, welcome. This is the Limsa version of the character starting experience. We are doing 3 videos, one in each of the starting zones, just to let everyone see what the story is for their starting experience.
Here. Here. Feel.
Oi, you're alright, lass. You were moaning in your sleep and sweating buckets besides. Rolling off the ship got your stomach churning, has it? Don't seem like seasickness, now that I look at you. It'll be the ether then, I reckon. Some of you are more sensitive to this stuff than others, see. And we ain't too far from Vilbrand now, which is chock full of etherites. No need to threat, though. You'll soon get used to it. Ugh. Might as well have been blooming seasickness. Ship sleeping around like a demented chocobo today. I reckon I might head out on deck. Get myself a breath of fresh air. Limsa is still a fair way off, in case you were wondering. Seeing as you're awake and all, how about you keep me company till we get there? Them young'uns don't care much for conversation, see? Any road, Brennan's the name, and peddling's my trade. Ah, smell that salty sea breeze. Now then, lass, judging by your unusual garments, I'd say you're one of them new adventurers. Am I warm? I knew it. Going wherever the wind blows. Seeking fortune and glory. Now that's what I call living. So long as you can avoid dying. Ain't no secret that adventuring's a risky business these days, especially. What was it that first attracted you to it? Power. As in power to do good, like protecting the weak and fighting for what's right and all that. I thought that's what you meant. Well, adventurers do get up to a lot of fighting, that's for sure. You'll never be short of a chance to polish your warcraft in the adventuring business. Once we make port, you'd best sign yourself up with the Adventurers Guild. They'll set you on the right path. And it wouldn't hurt to join a guild neither. Lominsa's home to a few, so if you fancy learning how to swing an axe, or even sling a spell, you should think about seeking one out. Just remember though, there's more important things than fortune and glory, such as breathing. Ain't no point being dead, and that's a fact. Ain't no profit in being dead, apologies. What? Ship's off the starboard bow. Pirate colours. Pirates? Bloody hells. Have you no sense? Get below. What's the world coming to? Pirates firing on a ship flying Lominsan colours? Bastards either have a boatload of balls or bugger for all for brains. You can rest easy, friends. We've made it out of cannon range. No buccaneer's bark will catch this flighty temptress once the wind's in her sails. That was too bleeding close. Glad one of us kept her head on her shoulders. I reckon I'd have lost mine otherwise. If them pirates gave up the chase, we must be close to port. Let's head on up to deck and have us a look, shall we? By the by, is this your first trip to Limsa? It is. Well then, let this journey itinerant tell you the ins and outs of your destination. Limsa prides herself on being Eorzea's foremost naval power. Weren't too long ago the place was ruled by pirates, but thanks to the current admiral's civilizing influence, the city-state could almost pass for a respectable nation. You never guessed she was once a rum-swilling buccaneer herself. Of course, most folk ain't so quick to change, and with the town full of liberty-loving ruffians, you could best imagine how many naysayers and troublemakers she's got to deal with, like them pirates who took a fancy to us just now. And if it weren't bad enough, I heard there's a harbour now raiding the coast just as bold as you please. Them there sea-dwelling beastmen the locals call fishbacks, in case you didn't know. At long last, land ho. Behold Limsa, a nation blessed by the ocean's bounty, and beloved Limlaen, goddess of navigation.
On a windswept isle in the southwestern corner of the realm, amidst the roiling waves of the Lotano Sea, lies the maritime city-state of Lominsa. To this haven for bandits and brigands, cutthroats and curs, seekers of both freedom and fortune, comes a lone adventurer. Lone yet not alone, for the hero's arrival has drawn the gaze of the nation's patron deity, Limlaen. What realm-shaking fate has she descried in the churning waters of this mortal's future?
And here's where we part ways, lass. I'm off to the markets to deliver me wares. Then it's on to the high road for me. Here, I want you to have this by way of thanks for saving me arse earlier. Hey, you never did tell me your name, did you? Well, here's an idea. Become the sort of storied personage I can brag about having met, and I'll consider a square.
Through peril and hardship, discovery and triumph, may the navigator guide this brave soul on her life's voyage, till sea swallows all.
Hey, you there. I mean you. This is my district, and I make it my business to know all the scum that washes up on it. Ah, an adventurer fresh off the boat, is it? Well then. Allow one of Lominsa's finest to set you on the right path. Up to it, lass, I haven't got all day. Now then, I'm sure you're itching to explore, but adventurers are required to register their presence in the city, and without a bit of local knowledge, you're like to get your throat slit in some piss-stinking alley. So before you do anything else, get yourself over to the Drowning Wench and enroll with the Adventurers Guild. It's not far. Just head straight down this street and speak with Grenfar. He'll show you how to work the big moving platform we call the Crow's Lift, and that'll take you up to the pub. Once you're there, look for a fellow by the name of Badru. He's the proprietor of the Wench. He might curse like an ale-sodden sailor, but the man's got a soft spot for wide-eyed newcomers like yourself. He'll set you straight. Got all that? Good. Now run along, and may the navigator guide you on your journey. Greetings to you, lass. What'll it be? You ain't here for a drink, are you? You've come with a mind to try your hand at adventuring, I reckon. Well, you find no shortage of work here in Limsa. Name's Baden. This is the most hospitable of hosteleries is the Drowning Wench. It is also the home of the Adventurers Guild here in Limsa. That's why we've got a desk specially for handling guild business, and why I seem to spend more time saving the necks of whelps like yourself than wetting the throats of irregulars. Adventurers have a knack for finding trouble, see? Not that they need it in these parts, on account of there being trouble wherever you look. If you manage to steer clear of the fishbacks and the kobolds outside the city, the pirates on the inside will get you instead. And if they don't manage, there's always the Garlean Empire to finish the job. Well, no one knows what they're planning, of course, but if they're planning anything, you can be sure it's to kill the lot of us. Aye, this town seems peaceful at a glance, but look again and you'll see the people living in fear of what tomorrow might bring. And who can blame them after everything that's happened? Eosea took a mighty blow during the calamity, but our homes weren't the only things that got wiped out off the face of existence by that thrice-damned bastard of a dragon. Took our bleeding memories, too. No one's been able to explain it any way that makes any ounce of sense. None of the folks what saw it and lived to tell the tale seem to agree on how the tale actually goes. 'Tis all foggy, like recollections from a hard night on the ale. You can imagine why people fear for the future if they can't rightly recall the past. But there is one thing we all remember. That's the group of adventurers that laid down their lives to drag Eosea back from the brink when she was bound for the abyss. Well, I say we remember. The truth is, though we've forgotten what they did for us, while we ain't forgotten what they did for us, this goddamn calamity spawned memory loss, robbed us of their names. It won't even let us picture their damn faces. It's like staring at a gull flying in front of the sun. All you see in your mind's eye is a shadow set against the blinding glare. That's how every bugger describes it, by the way, give or take the odd gull. It's this what got people calling these heroes the Warriors of Light. If Limsa's ever going to put this time of darkness behind it, it's going to need adventurers to help banish the fear. It's going to need new heroes like the ones we lost. Maybe one day you'll be one of them, and that's why any aid we can give to an adventurer is worth his effort well spent. What say you, lass? You willing to lend us your strength? Me thanks to ye, and to the navigator and all. I knew she'd stay you me way for a reason. But listen to me yattering on like a sun-touched fishwife. 'Tis nigh time we got your mark in me book. Put your score right here. K-Desea, is it? A fine name it is. Congratulations, you're now an upstanding member of the Venturers Guild. You there, adventurer. You sailed in on the last ferry, did you not? The captain reported being attacked by a pirate vessel, and several witnesses have testified independently that a passenger matching your description went out on deck mere moments before the incident took place. Sending your friends signals, were you? Now hold on just a moment there, officer. You've got the wrong lass. This fine upstanding young lady is me dear departed grandma's sister's niece's cousin's closest companion. This lass wouldn't be caught dead fraternising with such unsavoury elements. Is that right? You are surely aware of the recent kidnappings. Respectfully then, we cannot be too trusting of outsiders at a time when the loyalty of even our closest friends is in doubt. You made a good point there, officer. A very good point. Very wise. You needn't worry, though. I keep one eye open at all times. Me and two more often than not. Now, sir, what say ye to a tankard of my finest ale afore you return to your duties, eh? Not a watered-down cup of piss like last time, I should hope. Ain't got the faintest idea what you're talking about, officer. The wench might offer some of the cheapest grog this side of the strain to Merrifor, but that don't mean we don't get you good and pickled. And look, there's a chair right over there just crying out to be sat on, so kick off them heavy boots, eh? You'll have to excuse the meagre bloody yellow jackets. There's been a spate of kidnapping, see, and they ain't got a clues behind them. Naturally, they've taken to clapping irons on anyone who looks vaguely suspicious, which means venturers, visitors, and pretty much every bugger else into this town. Don't take it personal, though. Us Lominsans can be an headstrong bunch of bastards. 'Tis true, but given time we'll grow on you. Now, where was I? Oh, hi. Welcome to Lominsa, where the sea is as green as the faces of my patrons after a few too many black belly whiskies. Now, take a moment to gather your wits and we'll get started with learning your ways around the city. Right then, let's start you off nice and easy with 3 tasks what'll help you get used to life here in Limsa. Firstly, if you head down the floor and point your nose to the west, you'll get an eyeful of the great glowing crystal in the middle of the courtyard. That's an aetherite, a device what can move you from one place to another in the blink of an eye. Ain't no swifter way to travel, providing there's an aetherite where you want to go, of course. Have a chat with the yellow jacket on guard down there, and you'll be treated to a lecture on the workings of the device. Before you do that, though, remember to touch the thing. Strange as it sounds, it won't work until you have. Second on the list is the marketplace. You'll find weapons, armour, and all of your adventuring bits and pieces for sale in the district what lies beyond the Aetherline. Don't go throwing your gill around just yet, though, or you get fleeced quicker than you can say, "Why's my pointer so light?" Have a word with Swazblade instead. He's the head of the Merchants Guild, by the way. Give him this old document, and he'll treat you well. For your last and helpful hints, I suggest you meet some fellow spell slingers at the Arcanist Guild. I guarantee you'll learn a few tricks for your tome if you decided to join their crew. Muri at the front desk is the one to get you started. Got to that, lass? Seeing to them 3 tasks take you on a little jaunt around the city and help you work out where everything is. Now, best be getting on. Run along, eh? Bugger it. There I go, sending you off without telling you something crucial. That bloody calamity's made a right mess of my memory, I swear. Well, that or the ale. Any road, worry out. If you happen to pass any poor sots who look like they might need your help, consider giving them a tale of woe a listen, eh? Sounds like a chore, I'll admit, but you never know what interesting opportunities could be lurking out there, just waiting for you to stumble onto them. For example, Ninja over yonder's been casting glances at you since you waltzed in. Why not lend an ear and see what she has to say? You like to find yourself running odd errands in the beginning, but once you build a reputation as a woman folk can trust, jobs will get harder and harder and the rewards more generous. If you had the time, I'd also seek advice from the smith here in the wench. The lads as bear that title have some fine advice for them who are just starting out in the profession. And that, my girl, is how you go about becoming a legend among adventurers. Well, would you look at this? A shiny new adventurer. Listen close, lass. I have some information that might just help you put you on the map here in Limsa. I was passing through Bulwark Hall not long ago, and saw a bunch of herbs just scattered about on the ground. I'm not entirely certain, but I think they might have been the black market wares known as dream flowers. Limsa is a busy port, and not all the merchants that blow across the strait are above board, if you know what I mean. How the plants end up in the Mizzenmast? Who knows? Might have been a deal gone bad. The important thing is you make a name for yourself handing them in. Speak to Rail and she'll get you down to the first floor. Then, all you have to do is pick up the herbs and take them to Skiff at the yacht, and being a worldly captain, he knows a thing or two about such shit and goods. Just why I was taking that quest was the fact it wouldn't let me... it won't let you leave. Which is a bit silly. Wish to visit Bulwark Hall below. The crow's lift is ready when you... Yes, I'm Skiff. You have some herbs you wish me to examine. Yes, as you suspected, these are highly illegal blooms known as dream flowers. They're the prime ingredient to the creation of somnus, a substance whose fragrance is said to lull the sniffer's mind into the sleep of death. Forgive me, I could not resist the jest. These herbs are naught more than alec lavender, common enough export from Limsa. In fact, these probably spilled from the crates that were loaded onto my very own ship. I think someone's been having a bit of fun with you, miss, but don't worry, you've learnt a few things, made a new acquaintance. Well met. Another novice adventurer. I batter in a centre more than a few of your kind this way of late. I'm Sundimal, one of the Yellow Jackets tasked with keeping the peace in the city. It's also my charge to provide guidance in the use of this device. Fear not, I shall be brief. Aetherites are crystalline structures that tap into ethereal energies. They are primarily used as a means to travel swiftly from one place to another. Return and teleport, the most common transportation spells, make direct use of the Aetherites and their connection to the flow of ether. And as these devices are found in almost every corner of Eorzea, any adventurer worth worthy of name will wish to seek out and attune herself to each one. Once you have expanded your horizons beyond the walls of the city, you will soon find yourself performing the act of attunement as a matter of course. There is, however, no need for unseemly haste. Aetherites found in and around the city will be sufficient for the present, I assure you. Should you wish to learn more about Aetherites or transportation magic, I'll be here to answer your questions. Fine evening to you, madam. Welcome to the most replete marketplace in the grand realm of Ailsea, where every shelf groans under the weight of wonders born from all four corners of the world. Pray browse the stall until your eyeballs ache from the ogling of overabundance of unbelievable bargains. Now, as much as I would love to elaborate upon the unrivaled quality of our merchandise, I must tend to some cargo but recently arrived at the docks. Bear a gift from Badron. Whatever could it? My octant. By the navigator, I must have left it behind in the wench, along with a week's pay and several bells' worth of intoxicating memories. I'm most grateful to have it back. This tool is a keepsake from my days as a ship's captain, you see. Needless to say, your good deed must be repaid. What better recompense than the wisdom of a master merchant? If it is simple and sturdy adventuring equipment you seek, you need look no further than the east and west arms of Hawker's Alley. Lest you doubt, each gil you invest in arms and armour will be money well spent. Adventuring is, after all, a dangerous profession by its very nature. It goes without saying that Hawker's Alley boasts stalls specialising in the tools of every martial discipline imaginable. And within but a few steps are bazaars and apothecaries that will most amply supply you with potions or perishable needs. Our keen-eyed agents procure a frankly befuddling range of wares during their sojourns to distant shores, so it pays to become familiar with the type and price of goods offered by each stall. Such knowledge will serve you well if your purse is light and time is short. But the verbal instruction of this kind will only profit you so much. Experience has ever been the surest teacher, if not the kindest. I invite you to explore the markets for yourself. There you are, kid. Enjoy your jaunt around the city, did you? If you mean to base yourself in Limsa and Lominsa, that won't be the last time you'll have to visit them three places. Now you've got an idea of what's where, you can start exploring the rest of the town. You've shown your good ear for listening, lass. Stick with Badron and you'll go far. Still in Limsa, are you, kid? Or do you fancy a trip outside the city walls? I'd like you to visit an orchard by the name of Summerford Farms. Ever heard of the place? The owner, Stalewing, is an old mate of mine. He's got himself a crew of mostly reformed pirate types, if you can believe that, and has been trying to bring a bit of life back to the fields after the calamity ruined the soil. He mentioned needing another hand or two, and your name sprang to mind. I gave you glowing recommendations. Shall make sure you work hard and impress the old bastard. You need directions? The place ain't hard to find. Just take the Zephyr Gate out of the city and follow the road northeast. You must be the adventurer Badron promised to send along. Cade Sayer, wasn't it? You honoured his word, so that's a good start. I'm Stalewing. The old bastard, as Badron likely described me, and this here's my humble orchard. Good number of the lads and lasses working here once terrorised the high seas, and if you're wondering why I employ these scrags, well, they used to crew my private pirate ship. But the calamity did for our ship, like it did so many others. I was sore wounded into the bargain. I had to feed myself and my crew somehow, Admiral Merlyweb's initiative to get us landlocked buccaneers work in the field seemed too fine an offer to refuse. Well, it turns out you can take the pirate away from the sea, but you can't take the sea away from the pirate. A lot of my blokes never took to tending the soil, you see. And unfortunately, the botanists I called in to train them have been wringing their hands in black despair. With so much work piling up, I need a tougher soul like you to step in and help where it's needed. I've a mind to set you to task, sire. But before I do, I need to be sure you're properly kitted out. Pirates don't care to parley with dandies, you understand. Might well be that ones here have traded their cutlasses for cultists, but they're still rogues at heart. I know a solid set of gear when I see it. Come back when you think you're more suitably equipped. Let's have a look at you then, shall we? Oh, as long as you're this well covered, I won't feel any guilt throwing you into the sharks. Erstwhile buccaneers are an ornery lot. They rage in love for the sea and care little for the laws of the land, but they respect strength, and by the looks of you, I'd say you'll have little trouble getting their attention. Ah, sire, the aura of confidence tells me you've not been idle since last we met. I hope I've read you right. For I have a task that requires the attention of a capable adventurer. Might that adventurer be you? Good to hear. Then I shall lay before you this sorry tale. You will have heard rumours of the abductions. Aye, citizens have been disappearing from every corner of Lominsa, as if plucked from the face of Hydaelyn, boots and all by an unseen hand. And what's this got to do with Summerford Farms, you might ask? Well, that remains to be seen, but it seems a collection of right unsavoury fellows with azure tattooed faces have been creeping up to the edges of the fields and spying on my yeomen. Now, I doubt anyone would enjoy being scrutinised by such savages at the best of times. The farmhands are convinced they're the kidnappers of rumour come to for their hides. Needless to say that they're beside themselves with worry, and the work's suffering for it, which is the very last thing I need when my old crewmen are still getting used to the new jobs. It is a struggle to get them to leave the farmhouse for morning. That is, as they say, where you come in. Would you be willing to investigate these tattooed thugs for me? Good lass. The sooner we get to the bottom of this, the sooner the place will start to resemble a working farm again. I suggest you begin by having a look around the Seasung Grotto. Reports are to be believed our unwelcome visitors have occupied the place. Be careful though, sir. I couldn't say for sure what manner of miscreants we're dealing with. They are the kidnappers. Well, just be on your guard, all right.
I am the waves that bear. I am the winds that guide. I am the evening stars. I am the morning sky. I am born of the sea, and there shall I die. Thus reads the sailor's requiem, carved into yonder stone. Such words well describe the manner in which the citizens of Lominsa live their lives. It is both a litany against misfortune for those out on the waves, and a prayer that the souls of those who perish on land might find their way back to the sea. Ah, you are the adventurer I've seen around Summerford Farms. I thought myself on the trail of the kidnappers, but it would seem I have missed my mark. Or perhaps not. As I suspected, the etheric disturbance here is no natural occurrence. Nor is it a coincidence that the two of us should come here in search of those responsible for the disappearances, only to be attacked. But who stands to benefit from the keeping of this secret? Oh, such thoughts must wait. Let us attend to the task at hand, unpleasant though it be.
I sense something awry with this creature. Be on your guard. The disruption of the ether draws others to the fray. Keep your focus on the battle and tending the wounds to me. More unwelcome visitors. Slay them quickly, lest we hear. Creature falters, press the attack
Phew!
Hear, feel, think. Crystal Bearer. I am Hydaelyn, all made one. A light there once was that shone throughout this realm, yet it hath since grown dim. And as it hath faltered, so hath darkness risen up in its stead, presaging an end to life. For the sake of all, I beseech thee, deliver us from this fate. The power to banish the darkness dwelleth in the crystals of light. Journey forth and lay claim to them. By thy deeds shall the crystals reveal themselves to thee. Only believe, for the light liveth in thy heart. Shine thy light on all creation.
Awake again, are we? Aha! The poor creature's fury was kindled with cruel forethought. See this blade? I found it in the Gubu's back. I have seen knives of this kind before. They are most commonly used for the cutting of rope. It would appear our culprits are seafaring men of some persuasion, piratical being the most probable. In any event, you seem much recovered from your sudden affliction. I confess, I was rather taken aback when you collapsed at the very moment of our victory. Mayhap a surfeit of ether? I beg your pardon. A towering crystal. I'm sure I don't... Oh! Well, well. This has been a day of unexpected revelations. I must continue my investigation. In the meantime, I suggest you deliver this knife to your patron, along with a warning concerning the pirate's probable involvement in this murky business. The days ahead promise little rest, I fear. May our paths cross again, under the light of the crystal.
There, right. I'm glad to see you're safely returned. My lads were all gabbing about here in what sounded like all 7 hells breaking loose near the grotto, and I feared I'd sent you to your death. If you were in the middle of that commotion, I hope it yielded something of interest. I'd hate to think you risked your life for naught. A blade pulled from the back of the creature you slew at the cave, eh? I'd agree that such a knife would be part of any seafaring man's kit. I'm starting to think these ruffians are pirates, come to lure my farmhands back to a life of plunder. Chances are they didn't take kindly to your appearance on their doorstep, and set a maddened gubo on you. The pirates have been adding to their numbers lately. I'd best warn the lads and lasses in my employ to be on guard against their schemes. You met someone on the grotto, a woman with a strange contraption. You stole her. She's been in Lominsa for a good while now. The studies of ether often bring her out to Summerford, so her presence at the grotto is hardly unusual. She's an odd-looking lass, I grant you, but she's not the kind to associate with kidnappers. You may take my word for that. Where trust should be lacking is in those yeomen of mine who have yet to wholly relinquish their pirate pasts. The temptation to return to the free and easy life of a buccaneer may prove too strong to resist. You have my thanks, sir. If it weren't for your efforts of stalwart adventurers like yourself, this farm would be in a far worse state than it is. Just you keep on lending your talents to those in need, eh? Help bring Limsa the brighter future she deserves. That Cease lost Severin and his lot never around when there's work to be done. I'd sooner hire you for the sake of getting things done, but then the rapscallions will never learn. Round them up and let them know Stalewin would like a word, and don't take no for an answer. Work? Ha! Can't work when my hands are full lifting this mug. You know, I'd wager my last gill you never even guess what I'm drinking. Well, you're right about the swill part. Reckon it might be worth a day doing Stalewin's chores if it can afford me a taste of proper grog. Oh, how am I supposed to work on an empty stomach? Go on, have a guess what I had for breakfast. What? God, how do you know? It's my breath, ain't it? It probably smells as wooden as the food Toad tasted. But I know why you're here. I'd just as soon get some real food in me. I ain't one to reject a summons from the captain. Axes are made for splitting skulls, not stumps. You know what I did in my sailing days? You bet your bosom I did, lass. Aye, those were the days. I reckon I'll have to be satisfied taking my axe to the trees. So, Stolwyn would send you. What do you reckon I say to that? Damn right. Didn't get one by taking gruff from any glorified gardeners, but I suppose I could see what he wants to get him off my back. I'm Severin. You the old man's errand girl now. Tell my dear old captain not to wet his britches. I'll be along. Oh, and just so we're clear, I don't care for landlubbers. Go find the chocobo you rode in on and ride on out. Didn't you to impress, lass? All but Severin accounted for. It's no fault of yours, he scrowned out. Let the worm wriggle through my fingers more times than I can count. But rest assured, the next time I see him, I'll put him squarely in the dirt where all such worms belong. Pains me to say, but all the gil in the world can't buy loyalty. There are some like you who can be trusted, then there are others. Till now I've had no choice but rely on that charlatan Severin, even though I am full aware he's been doing shady deals behind my back. More than once I've heard tell of an improper trading with goblins. I wouldn't be the least surprised if that were happening right now. Not a bell ago a sack of oranges vanished, as did Severin. I want you to find out and confront the bastard for me. I'm sure there's wrongdoing afoot, so be sure to doubt anything that comes from his mouth. Bloody hells, I'm up straight without a paddle. What's this now? Stalewind sent you for the oranges? The old bugger had known all this time. What's it matter anyway? Listen, you're one of those goody-goody adventure types, right? Go rescue me mates from those double-dealing goblins, just over yonder by the bonfire. hadn't come, my dodo would have been cooked. Cooked dodo. I know you one would have gotten away with myself if not for Severin shoving me aside. Severin sent you? Ha! The way he flew out of here, I was sure he sold us down the river. You saved my mates, and for that I owe you. Suppose I should be ashamed. Couldn't clean up my own mess. But a pirate knows no shame. No qualms about going back on my word. Only giving you this sack because I like to cut you a jib. Take it to Ossian. Send him my regards. What have we here? A delivery from Summerford Farms and as scheduled. It's the first time for everything. Well, look at that. Not a single one missing either. Like the only things not here are all those bagmen. I don't miss them one bit. Here, Stallwyn's payment in full. With you, I can trust it'll reach him. Back in one piece. That's a relief. How did you fare, sir? Ah, this was what I was aiming for. Looks like to be all I was owed, all right. Though I'd be telling you false if I claimed I'd not held out for more hope for Severin. I was even willing to overlook the skimming off the top, to sell us all short in favour of those godforsaken goblins. You do well to mind yourself around that too, Gil, G. If he'd leave his own mates for dead, there's no telling what he could do to you. At last, at this rate the crops will never be ready for harvest. If only we had black loam, just a bit could send our stalks soaring. I'd bet Roegadyn knows where you might find some. Perhaps you might pay her a visit in the orchard. That Gerskin's got a head of cabbage if he thinks I'm fetching him any black loam. But if you dare to pinch some from the cookpot, be my guest. Just mind you don't get trampled on by the aurochs that dwell there. Once you've 3 bushels worth, take the black loam to Peril. At Tiller's Rest, he'll know what to do. Are even the weeds wither and die in this desolate dirt? But a bit of this black loam ought to bring a change to all of that. I haven't seen any in ages. Gathering black loam's not for the reek of will, nor the weaker stomach, eh? Oh, don't tell me Gherkin and Rotweed had neglected to mention where black loam comes from. Well, surely you figured it out on your own from the cloying stench. It comes from the aurochs' lair, of all places. Well, why dwell on those who misled whom about what? What matters is that your efforts have brought us the black loam, and we can expect a bountiful harvest as a result. Thank you. Confounded pirates. They know nothing of tilling, only killing, stealing our shovels to melt and forge into axes of all things. They're biting the hand that feeds them, the mangy mongrels. I'd love to teach those curs a lesson in obedience myself, if I hadn't sworn to stale him that I wouldn't fight no more. So I need you to bring back our farm tools. Make sure those dogs reap what they've sown. I wonder what those sea dogs will try and steal when there's no harvest. Good to see the tools back and in serviceable condition. It will be more than we can say for Severin when we get our hands on him. That wretch will likely had a role in the theft. Spied him meeting the pirates in secret, I did. Couldn't care less if the Wastrel wouldn't work. But when he consorts with the cut purses that take our tools away, he's crossed the line. Stelwyn ought to know what sort of scallywag he's dealing with. Take word to him, would you? Off with our tools. Well, did well not to take matters into his own hands. Last thing I need is blood on my crops. But I'll be damned if Severin thinks he can take us for fools. His treachery won't go unpunished. I've come to expect a great deal from you, lass. You never once let me down. But what I ask of you now goes beyond all I've asked before. Do you hear my plea all the same? It eases my mind to have you here. You're no doubt familiar with that scoundrel Severin by now. Well, the scheming scapegracer's at you again. Since that letter came for him, he's been skulking around in that manner he does when he's up to no good. Now he's rounded up his rogues and buggered off, with nary a word to anyone. I've grown accustomed to his insolence, but something tells me this is different. It ain't exactly damning, but when last I had words with him, he didn't look defiant so much as he looked as hunted. Can't help thinking he's gone looking for trouble and found more than he wanted. So I was hoping you might hunt his sorry hide down and drag it back here before it's too late. The ungrateful little cur bites me at every chance he gets. I can't quite bring myself to cut him loose. I suppose he reminds me a bit of my younger self. Suffice it to say, I'd rather he didn't come to a sticky end. If I had to find him, after asking Grinwida, either right. She was the last one to see him. Dare say she'll be able to tell you where he was headed. Nothing passes through these gates escapes my notice. I saw the Rouser and his rabble set out for Roegadyn Canyon not long ago, singing about drinking themselves stupid. Cheeky sod said I should join them. I told them I'd rather shrivel up and sip whatever it was that had pickled their brains. If you find the idle swine, be sure to give him a cuff round the ear for me, will you? Of all the dirty, deceitful, downright dastardly deeds that slippery bastard's done. Claiming to take the lads out for a drink only to lead us straight into a bloody trap. Don't get no lower than that. Of course I've learned to stay a step ahead of Severin. So I was ready. The others weren't so lucky. You've got to help them. My axe may have well been the white flag for all good it did. Hope you fare better. The sorry bastards in there are done for. Severin might have got us into this mess, but I ain't about to let him give up his life for us. I'd sooner bow to a fishback than be a conniving bastard's debt. To arms. A true knave. You betray even yourself, Severin. We were prepared to overlook the matter of your desertion on the condition that you provided us with suitable replacements. That was the agreement. Yet your latest change of heart leaves your debt to us unpaid. Few are they who betray the serpent reavers twice. You will not do so a third time. Cowering behind your protector will only delay the inevitable. Honourless wretch, your life is all you have left. And worthless though it may be, we shall take it. O mournful voice of creation, send unto me the creature of the abyss, my thrall to command that I may smite mine enemies. Are you strong enough to withstand? Possible. Never has the goal been so sorely tested. Gollum could be vanquished. A That woman is no ordinary adventurer. The snake slithered away. I am only glad he did not have the chance to sink his fangs more deeply into you. Those pirates do not belong to any known Lominsian factions. Whom then do they serve? The beast tribes? Surely not. But the timing of their appearance coincides all too neatly with the recent surge in Sahagin and Kobold activity. Something is afoot. The question is, what? Could it be that the tribes are planning to summon their primates? 12 help us if that should prove so. Limsa would hardly be pressed to keep a single primate at bay, let alone 2. But all is yet speculation. I mustn't find evidence. The seas continue to rise, while the lesser moon continues to fall. And limb by limb the world becomes ever more unlike itself. It is as Louisoix foretold. The coming of chaos has rendered the laws of nature mutable, blurring the boundary between the material and ethereal planes. Little now stands between us and the primates. But they are not here yet. Though time may be against us, hope shall yet ever be on our side. Never did the creed of Charlatan ring more true. Never did I dream that I would possess the means to see ether. Yet now that I do, I begin to take it for granted. How swiftly do the wonders of Charlatan seem commonplace. Here, for you. Have you come for the festivities? Today the Maelstrom officially makes the Great Hole in the Sea its training ground. Join in the celebrations. Wait, a disturbance in the etheric flow. But whence does it emanate? Sea Song Grotto, perhaps? What have we here? Can you walk? "'Tis I." Regrettably no, he eluded me. Understood, I will inform the Commodore. You collapsed from your exhaustions. Are you suitably recovered? Severin here has appraised me of all that transpired. His account sheds some light upon how you came to be attacked by a golem of all things. A golem is a mindless automaton, inert save when commanded otherwise. common pirate could not hope to control such a thing. So arcane are its workings. But then these tattooed wretches are no common pirates. They are the minions of the Sahagin. As for their purpose, well, I shall get to the bottom of it. But first I must escort Severin back to his place of employment. I dare say Stalwyn will be wondering what has become of him. And you too, for that matter. I will bid a word to him of your preservation, but I am certain he would like to thank you in person. Pray pay the manners. Ah, he told me. But perchance he did not tell you of me. My name is Gistora. I am a naturalist of sorts, surveying the ether in hopes that it might offer up some clue as to our predicament. I'd say I'd owe you my life. That don't even cover it. If it weren't for you, my friends would all be dead. No. It's the debt I can never repay. But I'll not make things worse by running away. Take me to Summerford Farms and I'll face the consequences. For reasons I cannot fathom, you seem... Forgive me. Perhaps we shall have a chance to speak again when I have marshalled my thoughts. Until our paths next cross, farewell. And yours and all, adventurer, I've caused more than a fair share of trouble during my time here. Not that you need telling. Lo, I knew you'd return. Istola delivered Severin a bit ago. Tells your heroic deeds precede you. The rest come shuffling back too. A lot of them sporting the same haunted expression. It's me to blame for that. That and the rest. I was once a serpent reaver. A thrall to the Sahagin. 7 hells reavers may look and sound and act like pirates, but they've naught but fishback flunkies. Us pirates ain't much for laws, but there are things we won't do. We've got a code, see. The reavers have never followed a word of it. A few years back they started snatching law-abiding Lominsians. I'd only just taken me oath. When our captain bent the knee to his new Sahagin masters, I knew how to get away. So I crept off one night, got myself a new name and found myself a new home. Summerford Farms. Trouble is, secrets don't stay secret for long round here. And word soon spread, all the way back to the sea. The penalty for desertion is death, but the reavers offer me a way out instead. My freedom in exchange for my mates. The letter. I don't know what I was thinking. I wasn't bloody thinking. Too busy soiling myself. Aye. But you got there in the end, didn't you? The time came you made the right decision. The men say little to me, but I hear 'em talk of how you stood up to the reavers at the last. Of how you tried to give your life to save theirs. Be that as it may, no deed, however good, can atone for the crime of betraying your brethren. I know that I do. So I'm going to hand myself over to the Yellow Jackets. I'll bring shame to the farm no more. You'll hear no arguments from me. Each man must sail according to his own moral compass. I just hope yours guides you back here someday. There will always be a place for you at Summerford Farms, lad. And I'll always be in your debt, Stalwyn. I owe you a debt as well, Cade. Not once have you let me down. Thank you for saving the men of my farm. If I could ask one more favour of you, it'd be this. Tell Badaram what has happened. From start to finish. I'm certainly putting a good word for Severin if he knew the whole story. And he's one of the few people I know who the Yellow Jackets will listen to. Well, I reckon I'd ask all I possibly can of you. Safe travels, lass. Bloody hell's life on the farm ain't quite how I pictured it. But you needn't worry yourself over young Severin. The Yellow Jackets, as hands out punishments, is a good mate of mine. If I ask him nice, I reckon he'd be willing to commute the lad's sentence from hanging to keel all in. Kindly gent that he is. I'm only jesting you. I'll see that he's treating fair. Now, it sounds to me like you've done everything that old Stalewind asked of you, and more, justifying me generous finder's fee in the process. Much obliged, lass. As for your reward, well, she's a lonely lady, this drowning wench of mine. How do you fancy keeping her company for a spell, with free room and board? Venturing is a trying business, after all. Them don't rest their bones every now and again tend to end up with broken ones. Take it from me, fighting ain't nearly as much fun when you're nursing the shattered arm. Got that? Good. There'll always be free bed for you here, so make use of it. Not that you'll have much time for lying around, what with all the levies you'll be doing. Oh, I didn't mention, I'm putting your name down for levies. Our guild draws all manner of clients, offering all manner of odd jobs. Honestly, you'd be amazed at how much folk will pay to avoid doing an honest day's labour. Just give Tomoki a shout when you feel like making a few extra gil. She'll always have some task or other for you to do. Oh, and it's all above board, in case you're wondering. We're careful to stay on the Admiral's right side here, unlike some pirates I can mention. I'll tell you, if it turns out they had aught to do with them kidnappers, there'll be 7 hills to pay. A proper bleeding reckoning. Yep, that's what Limsa needs, though. On rough seas, sometimes you have to rock the boat to right it. But we'll have time for such talk when you're well and rested. Till then, enjoy the wench's hospitality. How do you fare, Cade? Rested and ready to expand your horizons? Well then, I've an idea where you might try heading next. Have you heard of the skylift out in the middle of Nuska? If you've ever visited Woad Whisper Canyon, then you must have come up and down the thing at least once. It's that big bleeding scaffolding attached to the descent. You've likely seen the lads and lasses out there using it to haul cargo up the cliff face. Hard labour that, and I hear they could use some enterprise and soul to pick up some odd jobs what no other bugger has time to deal with. Track down the head of the operation, bloke by the name of Wicket, and he'll be sure to put you to work on a task or two. Beardron sent you out here, did he? And consider yourself welcome at the skylift. Look at that bloody cliff, will you? One blast of fiery hell from that huge dragon was all it took to split the ground in half. Cargo still needs to get through, though, so this mess of wooden pulleys was our solution to the problem. Well, one of them at least. If the gods were kind, and they ain't, I'd have about a dozen more workers to handle the growing list of headaches. Glad to happen to see you again, lass. A wagon driver just returned in a great bloody hurry, screaming about some monstrosity that sprang out from a millicorn seedling in his cargo. Seems the gutless bastard tossed it over the side afore turning tail and running for his life. I need you to head down the road, cover that seedling and deliver it to Leolf over at Swift Perch in Western Lanoska. Whatever he pays for the cargo, for the cargo is yours to keep. After all, I don't rightly know what else is lurking inside that plant, and you deserve the reward for your troubles. Oh, and you'll also find the Ephori in Swift Perch, so the journey should be worth your while. Has Nymea herself forsaken this desolate land? Though I understood there were risks in gambling my entire fortune on a crop of millicorn, I at least expected the seedling to be delivered before disaster struck. Is that my millicorn seedling? Oh, joyous day. May seem a paltry beginning, but the yield of this particular variety of crop plant is nothing short of astonishing. As you've undoubtedly noticed, swift perch lacks a certain, shall we say, vital energy. Thus I mean to restore a modicum of hope to its residents by growing a veritable ocean of corn. You, madam, seem fit to burst with vim and vigour. Might I persuade you to abide a while and help nurture this alien settlement? You there, adventurer. Cast your eyes towards Brewer's Beacon. Does the light not seem uncommonly weak? Cannot possibly be bright enough to guide the ship sailing in the bay. I would march over to the lighthouse and investigate myself, but I am duty-bound to remain at my post. I would consider it a favour if you could make a visit to Brewer's Beacon and see if aught has befallen Canswis, the lighthouse keeper. Say, Yellow Jacket sent you here. Eh? My light's growing dim, has it? Well, of course it bloody has. The bomb that fuels the furnace has up and buggered off, you see. Don't get that beacon fixed up soon, there'll be trouble on the water. I know you're just the messenger, lass, but I can tell an adventurer when I see one. I'm going to need you to chase down that bomb and bring it back a claw what we ripped from its smouldering corpse. Take this here iron brazier and set it down in the middle of the flock, somewhere near the scarecrow, I'd say. You get a nice fire going and that frisky bomb will soon be about. What you don't singe eyebrows, lass. All you need to do is take down the runaway bomb and bring me one of its little claws. Ah, you got the ashy bastard, did you? Once I put this little firecracker in the furnace, that should keep things running for a while. Had myself a bit of a look while you was gone, and lie me and curse me if the furnace weren't all bent and broken. Small wonder the bloody bomb was able to escape. I patched things up as best I could, but I ain't no smithy. You might want to have a chat with that Yellow Jacket friend of yours in Swiftperch, and have him pass the word back to someone in Limsa. Furnace is damaged, is it? Very well, I'll write up all the relevant reports. These repairs must need be effected without delay. Seems to have a nerve of favour to ask of you, adventurer. Take yourself straight away to the Armourers Guild in Limsa and explain the situation to Forge Master Hansa. Furnace in Brewer's Beacon needs repairs. Brygot's beard. I just sent someone out to tinker with it not a week past. Yet the bomb Canvas had trapped there was a touch too volatile. I'll have an artisan visit the lighthouse and pay special attention to the reinforcing the casing of the furnace. Your work is done here, adventurer. May the navigator guide you on your journeys. What say you taking on some work from Naldic and Vimelis? We've a great hulking warship to build and could certainly use extra hand for any number of tasks. For your first job, I need you to run this missive over to Antwerp, the head shipwright of the Moorby Drydocks. We forge most of the ship's bits and pieces here at the Armourers Guild, but the actual construction takes place at the docks found to the south of Lower Lanuska. That's also where you'll find the main offices of Naldic and Vimelis. The Moorby Drydocks is one of Limsa's most important districts, at least as far as I'm concerned, and I'm sure you'll not regret attuning yourself to the area's etherite. If you've no confidence in your sense of direction, you'd best be served making use of the Chocobo quarters, first floor of the Mizzenmast, in case you were wondering. Should you choose to make a trek on your own 2 feet, leave the city through Tempest Gate and follow the road south. May the navigator guide your steps. You have a missive for me from Forge Master Hansa. I suppose it pertains to the pending arrival of the materials I ordered over a moon past. Blast and botheration, another delay. I am well aware of the shortage of skilled artisans, but this is insufferable. My apologies. The messenger does not deserve to bear the brunt of my frustration. Might I have your name? Cade, is it? Well, Cade, this proud maiden you're seeing take shape before you is the Victory, the first new vessel to grace the docks since the Calamity. We may have lost the bulk of our ships that fateful day, but starting with this beauty, we will restore the Maelstrom's fleet to its former glory. The Victory is more than a simple warship. It is the symbol of Limsa Lominsa's rebirth from the wreckage wrought by the coming of the Seventh Umbral era. Thus we are striving to complete a construction as swiftly as possible, even going so far as to hire veteran shipwrights from outside the Thalocracy. Yet even with such unprecedented measures, there are never enough hands to handle the abundance of tasks. Should you choose to linger in the docks for a time, there is no end to the jobs of our hard-working adventurer. Be fair warned, there is no place here for layabouts and troublemakers. Where in the seven hells is that man? Not once in 12 moons has he been late with a shipment, and now 2 whole turns in the sun without a single word. A shipwright of mine, a young man named Philemid, recently left Candlekeep Quay to receive several crates of supplies ordered from Lominsa, but has yet to return. I've sent several missives to Halbroda, but his replies are always the same. He does not recall ever seeing the right, nor the supplies he was scheduled to collect. That man knows something, and I severely doubt he is telling me the whole truth. As I cannot leave my post, I would ask you to travel to Candlekeep Quay in my stead, and inform Halbroda that if he insists on playing these games, I will personally see that he is transferred to the Turtleback Island, where he can rot alone in the middle of the sea for eternity. Does the self-righteous dog Antwin doubt that I never told him anything less than the truth? Turtleback Island? He can't do that, can he? I swear on my poor Nana's grave, navigating to rest her soul, I know naught of Philismid or his precious supplies. Else, here at the quay have enough trouble these past few suns. What with the sinking of that Lominsian cargo ship off Saltstrand, I haven't even had time to take a proper piss, let alone make note of every scrag that wanders in off the griff. Now, the way I see it, if you have time to be standing here questioning my character, then you most certainly have the time to get that arse of yours down to the Saltstrand and help us search for survivors of the wreck. Who knows? You may just run across this Philsmid everyone seems so eager to find. He is hoping the navigator hasn't found him first. I really apologise for the pronunciation, folks. Unfortunately, Roegadyn names are difficult to pronounce at the best of times. I'm Virusmid. You say the foreman's wondering on my whereabouts. I thought he might be. But you must know I cannot show my face at the Drydocks until I've righted the terrible wrong I've caused. 2 nights past, I made the trip from the Drydocks to Candlekeep Quay, just as the foreman asked. The seas were right rough. The captain of the cargo ship was wary of bringing her too close to the cliffs, so I paid a few coins to a fisher to take me out to meet her. By the time we was halfway to Exoran ship, the swells had risen to nigh on 10 yards, and 'twasn't long before the waves had a hold of us. Try as we might to steady the boat, nature's grip was too tight. and we was flung headlong into the Lominsan galley. When I awoke, both ships were gone, and the cargo I was to collect lay strewn across the salt strand. I just made every effort to salvage it, but the sands are crawling with quickern, and I ain't one with a sword. Now you see why it is I cannot return to the Drydocks. I was tossed into the sea like some doll of rags. It weren't long afore the world round me faded to black as I slipped deeper into the abyss. But lo, the navigator wouldn't see me to the gates of the southern hells, and I woke to find myself washed ashore. And here's I've been ever since, waiting for a chance to salvage my master's cargo. The missing parts, I don't know how I can repay you. I'll deliver the supplies right away. But first I must stop by the quay so I may pay my respects to the widow of the brave fisher who gave his life for a handful of coin. Could you add to him, I'll be back at the Drydocks by nightfall. Many thanks, adventurer. I'll not forget this kindness. I'm relieved to hear that both Hildesmid and the supplies are unarmed, though it was foolish of him to believe I would blame him for that which he is obviously out of his hands. You see, there was no storm that day, and the seas here adjacent to the Drydocks were as calm as a slumbering child. This leads me to believe that the trouble the ships encountered off Candlekeep Quay was of a less natural sort, the sort of which the Roegadyn had been known to conjure. Kid, while I originally had doubts about your motives, you have repeatedly proven yourself to be an asset to Naldic and Vremelis. I still do not like you, but that does not mean I don't trust you. Gim Torta, head of watch here at Drydocks, believes the pirates may be plotting an attack on the Victory. She requires assistance investigating a group of unsavoury individuals making camp nearby. I have recommended you for the task. Despite all the Limsa has endured before, during and following the calamity, the fact there are still those who would turn their backs on the city-state so that they might line their pockets with a few handfuls of coin. Just the thought of it sickens me. Ah, yes, I had a feeling you would be the one Athbrim sent. Since you first arrived at Morby Drydocks, I've had my men watch you. Oh, there's no need to be angry. I make it a point to keep an eye on all those new to the area. Simply protocol. And you'll be pleased to know that nothing incriminating was found. You appear to be a model citizen. That and the foreman seem to think somewhat highly of you, which I must admit is quite shocking. The man doesn't even trust his own mother. Very well then, I assume Athbrim informed you that your task would entail. Pirates we believe to be conspiring to raid the Drydocks were last seen making camp near an ancient stone called the Mark of the Spinner. I would have you approach the men, posing as a lost adventurer, and see if you cannot somehow learn of their intentions. Senango, stationed at the rear of gates, can provide you with an exact location of the camp. Kid. Haha, I knew it. No more sardines for Senango tonight. I will be the one dining on the finest salmon on the peninsula. Why? Well, I had a little wager going with some of the other guards who Athbrim would recommend for the next job. My money was on you. The job, yes, of course. If you follow the road past the gates to the southeast, you will eventually come to a barren cape with a large stone half buried in the cliff overlooking the sea. Followers of the 12 say it's a holy place dedicated to Namila, the spinner. I'd be surprised if the pirates camped up there were aware of that, though. I'm giving you to the count of 9 to step back on that path and carry your venturing arse back down wherever rock it is you crawled out from under. You see, it's had up to me ears with your type, roaming the hills like they was yours to roam. It's getting to be that a man can't enjoy a mug of rum without some shite-breathing outlander running up and asking which way to the local levy met. 7 L's if I know. I'm a bloody pirate, goddamn. The hull's balls. Once we have me boy back, I'm putting that god's-forsaken piss-hole of an island so far behind me, ain't no one'll remember I was even here. Come on, Scrags, we got knives to sharpen. So the trespassers are indeed pirates, and they're indeed planning something. What's this talk of getting me boy back? Maybe their target was never the victory. Something's not right, and I won't sit idly by waiting for those pirates to make the first move. I shall order increased patrols immediately. Thank you again for your help, Cade. It appears we were wise to put our trust in you. I'm concerned, Cade. It appears that the pirates I had you investigate are on the move. They creeped ever close to the Drydocks, so I must assume they mean to target the Victory herself. That ship is the symbol of everything Lominsa strives to become. I will not allow these base scoundrels to lay a single finger on her hull. We must apprehend them before they put their plans into motion, and you, Cade, are just the woman to do it. Without your capable assistance, I fear the security of the Drydocks cannot be guaranteed. Not moments ago, my guards submitted reports of suspicious activity in the area. Pray begin your efforts by listening to one of their accounts firsthand. Matters not whom you choose to speak with, but be sure to question either Ulstwist at the front gate or Sinango at the rear. Any suspect saboteurs you encounter during the course of your investigation are to be interrogated. Report any and all findings directly to me. Hail, adventurer, glad you have another hand aboard to help shore up security. The gods know our reports would sit on Gimthokta's desk, gathering dust if it weren't for the assistance of those such as yourself. Speaking of reports, though, I saw one of those mangy pirates lurking around the cliff near Empty Heart. Take a closer look before he has the chance to cover his tracks. Ah, spotted me, did you? Well, you're too late. What's to happen's already happening. So you found me one of those pirates, did you? And you were the right adventurer to ask for aid? But what could these knaves be planning? What's to happen is already happening? Captain, trouble at the shipyard. Easy now, soldier. Who did this to you? Pirates, out of nowhere, struck me good. Gods below, we are not prepared for this. The pirate soldier, how many do they number? Not sure, more than I could quickly count. Seem to be carrying explosives. Explosives? Then there is no time to lose. Cade, you heard the situation. Make your way to the shipyard and engage the intruders. I will see to this man's wounds, then follow after. Make haste now. Never reckoned it'd be this easy. Still, don't trust those slimy bastards. Their plan worked like a charm. Da, what are you doing, you great bloody fool? Shut your trap, boy. This'll be all over soon. All that's left now is to blow up this ugly pile of driftwood into splinters. Why would you do such a thing? Have you any idea how important this ship is? What it represents? Aye, and that's why it makes it all the sweeter. Whatever it takes to knock some sense into that treacherous, backstabbing soul. Imagine a boy of mine giving up the pirate life just to become a shipwright, and building a bleeding maelstrom vessel at that. What under Limian's wide green ocean made you take up with these self-righteous shites? You're the only one with no bloody sense, Star. Don't you see, the pirates had their glory days, but that era's over. I wondered why Antbrim never spoke of his father. I never would have thought. This ship is a symbol, all right, of everything that went wrong with the world. And I mean to shatter it into 100,000 pieces. Grimtota Cade, pray beat the tar out this bloated sea slug, and make sure no harm comes to the Victory. Well, that's easier said than done. Pirate, don't abandon these treasures. My father, you must stop him. Leave him to us, Cade. Shenango to me. As we agreed, unfathomably, Moja mercenaries. I'll take them, Moja. You focus on the captain. No idea who you're up against. Beware, adventurer. The captain has a crazy glint in his eye. Out of me damn way. I must be getting old. Letting some green venturer get the best of me. That's one bloody big ship. Big and nasty looking. You made that, did you? My thanks, Cade. I shudder to think what may have become of the Victory without your intervention. The pirates have made a right mess of things. I'd best get back to sorting out the docks. My thoughts could use some sorting out as well. Never did my father have a way of turning my life upside down. Pray convey my thanks and my apologies to Grimtota. fair you, Cade. I cannot begin to thank you for the role you played in preventing this madness. You defended more than a simple ship. You saved the budding hope of Limsa from a violent demise. The day was yours. It seems our security regimen will require much in the way of improvement if we are to truly keep the Drydocks safe. Atbrim apologises. Well, I suppose I can understand why he would feel responsible for his father's actions. Of all those involved, the incident was hardest on him. But in time I believe he'll come to a single conclusion. The most fitting way, moving past his anguish, is to see the victory completed and in the water. By the by, the pirates we defeated have been handed over to the Yellow Jackets. Rayner's men will be taking over the investigation. Before the Yellow Jackets moved in, however, we recovered a most unusual object. Should you have time to spare, we would ask you another favour. Cade, in light of your role in recent events, there are a few others whom I would entrust this task. Since we last spoke, a curious missive has been discovered amongst the personal effects of Ansabin, the pirate behind the plot to sabotage the victory. The missive was penned by a most unusual script we believe to be some manner of code. Needless to say, anything which a proven enemy of Lominsa deems worthy of enciphering is likely to be of great interest to the Maelstrom. Unfortunately, none among us can make any sense of the message. In cases such as these, I am told the Yellow Jackets are wont to turn to Baderan and his convenient connections. Thus I would have you deliver the missive to the proprietor of the Drowning Wench into his hand and no other. Do you understand? Hi there, Cade. I've been hearing about your deeds at the Drydocks. It's been laid out the entire tale for me. Poor sod still reeling at his old man's part in the business, but at least she kept the victory from being sunk before she sailed. And for that I owe you my thanks. You've really made a name for yourself here in Limsa, lass. Folk know that when they need something doing, you need something doing. And what might that be? You want someone to read a message written funny letters for you. Kim Tota thought I might know a man who could. Well, let's see it then. Aye. I reckon I might know a canny bugger who can read stuff like this. Ungodly sod by the name of Badron. You know, you're like one of my regulars now, Cade. You never let me down. Navigator helped me, I reckon I can trust you. Tota was right to want this message deciphered. We've got us some trouble brewing here, and no mistake. Get ready for action and I'll explain. Good to have you aboard, lass. Now then, where to start? Back when I was younger and nastier, I earned a living as a sellsword. In that business, if you wanted to know what your enemy was up to, you had to learn to read the orders you prized off cold dead hands of his mates. That's how I came to know how to read your message. Truth be told, the script is only too bloody familiar. Sahagin letters, lass. I should know I got in more fishback messengers than I could count. Gets worse though. The plan to blow up the victory is all here, right down in the fine details. Looks like they're meant to raise 8 kinds of ale in Western Lanoska. Then it's the Maelstrom's new flagship in the confusion. The point being, an attack on the victory weren't the act of a few rebellious pirates. It was the key part of some canny bastard's grand plan. But if I'm reading this right, the attack itself came much too early. The wage of the panic when they saw he was onto them. Rushed to do the job and buggered it up. Them two-faced bastards, as they say, was paying Abrim's old man. They say they're with the Serpent Reavers, right? None of their crews was there, was they? They had something better to do, or what? Seven L's, I've got it all backwards. That mess at the victory. That was meant to be the bloody distraction. Fishbacks ain't interested in the maelstroms, baby. They're after men, just as they've always been. They're sending their pirate lackeys after a civilian target. This bit about raising hell and Western and Oscar, that's where it'll be. Something tells me Swift Perch is about to get hit. Get it, and hit hard. Here's a rough translation of the message. Take it to Commodore Rayner at the Coral Tower and tell him he's in for a busy day. Or give him a hand day. You can be damn sure he'll need one. Yes, I'm Rayner. You must be the adventurer whose name seems to be on everyone's lips. You are to be commended for your part in thwarting the plot to destroy the Victory. Now, what can I do for you this day? Bear an urgent message from Badron. Why do I get the feeling that my hopes for a quiet evening are about to be cruelly dashed? Tell me, what is afoot? An assault on Swift Perch? But we've seen nothing to suggest the Serpent Reavers are massing for an attack. Even so, it would be foolish to discount the possibility. Badron is rarely wrong about such matters. I will marshal the Yellow Jackets for battle immediately. The question is where to send them. I concur with Badron's assessment that the attack on the Drydocks is intended as a diversion. Swift Perch is but one of several possible targets for the main thrust. Commodore, sir. What? It's the Sahagin, sir. They mounted a large-scale assault on the South Tide Gate. Threatened to overwhelm our defences within the day. The garrison requests immediate reinforcements. By the navigator, seems my decision's been made for me. Muster the troops and give the order to march. Aye, the Serpent Reavers are in league with the Sahagin, which means there will be every chance this assault on the Tide Gate may yet prove to be another feint. That remains, however, we can ill afford to ignore it. That leaves Swift Perch vulnerable to those pirate traitors. It is at times such as these that I wish the warriors of light yet walked among us. Wishes will avail us naught. Sire, you must serve in the absence. Make for Swift Perch with all haste, and lend your strength to the squads I can spare for the settlement's defence. Commodore Rayner said word we'd be getting reinforcements. I didn't expect him to send you. Certainly look like you've seen your share of action, though. You bear little resemblance to the wide-eyed whelp I met fresh off the ferry. In any case, do you know what you're fighting for here? This place, Swift Perch, was rebuilt by the folk who stood strong against the face of every hardship the calamity threw their way. We're not about to let some fish-fancying scum claim the honour of being the ones who finally broke their spirits. Don't give those pirate bastards one bloody home, you hear me? Here they come. Voice. Here now, I thought all them yellow jacket worms was meant to be busy. That useless Skag ain't followed the plan, has he? Now what? Pull back and wait for us Sahagin buggers, brothers? Piss on that. We ain't turning back empty-handed. Remember, no killing the small folk, or be your blood that stains your Leviathan's altars. Yellow bellies you can butcher at will, and dirty slugs will be crushed under the full might of the Serpent Reapers. Reavers? Seems Swift Perch was the main target after all, eh? Squads 1 and 2 protect the townsfolk. Squad 3, you're our rearguard. Rest of you, we meet their charge where we stand. Let us bear the Commodore's word of our victory, or no word at all. Limsa. I've got all you yellow bellies and dance on your gizzards. Leave no pirate some standing. Go on how yellow jackets fight. Time to split some heads, adventurer. Let's start with the front line follow. Right, you scurvy bastards, here's a trick to make it so you'll have bridges. Keep pummeling him, can't take much more of this. Of the abyss, your master calls. Heed me words and smite the foes. That bloody little scent. Hold steady, lads. Well fought. The reavers were beaten and scattered. I'll take some men and hunt down the stragglers. Oh, but there may be more of them lurking about, so don't let your guard down just yet. The source of her strength now becomes clear. You may have bested the golem, but you will not fare so well this day. O mournful voice of creation, send unto me a creature of the abyss, my thrall to command that I may smite mine enemies. Your very being imperils the plan. You cannot be suffered to live. Soon you shall take your vile gifts to the grave. Whence springs this plea to natural might? This opponent, against whom you will not stand alone. An unwelcome guest, no matter, all shall fall before me. mortal should possess such strength. His power wanes, brought him no chance to recover. Oh, that was easy. That the wisdom of the Paragon should be brought low by mere mortals. Paragons, did he say? Then it is as I feared. They are known as the bringers of chaos, or Ascians, to give them their proper. It seems our suspicions were correct. It is they who have been manipulating the beast tribes. Pardon, you would know if we Charlayans have encountered Ascians before. I have never spoken to you of my homeland. How did you know whence I hail? Wait, I do begin to see you have been blessed with a special gift. Are you alright, lass? If I'd known a mean bugger like that was hiding in the bushes, I would have left a squad to keep you, or 6 to keep you company. Well, at least now we can call this kidnapping investigation to a close. Those reavers were the ones spiriting folk away in the dead of night. This bastard here was pulling the strings. A trifle simplistic, but not inaccurate. I came as soon as I sensed his presence, but I never thought to find such a scene of carnage. Yet we prevailed, and thanks to your heroic actions, I have learnt much. Aye, heroic is a word. I don't want to think about what would have happened if you hadn't been here, friend. And your assistance is much appreciated too, Lady Ishtar. Please give our regards to the Silence. I am glad to have played a role in bringing what I hope is an end to this disturbing spate of abductions. The thread of your fate forms a part of a most intriguing tapestry. Mayhap we will be afforded a chance to speak more in the near future. For now, however, you must see this particular tale to its conclusion. Pray send my greetings to the Commodore Rainer. Sire, eagerly have I awaited your return. Word of your exploits is already spreading through the ranks. My troops now owe you a great debt of gratitude for your timely assistance. You have shown yourself to be possessed of a sure arm, strong spirit, and sound judgment. Would that Lominsa had more of your like. I have little doubt that you shall one day join the ranks of Eorzea's greatest adventurers. It is but a matter of time. Clearly, Badlan's eye for potential remains as sharp as ever, though I doubt he even imagined you capable of such feats. Might further me with your own account of the day's events. Such victories bear retelling. Ishtola has been working with us for quite some time, you see. She is only too willing to assist the Yellow Jackets in the kidnapping investigation, proving herself a stalwart ally of Lominsa yet again. Needless to say, after your part in thwarting the attempted sabotage of the Victory, and the small matter of your deeds at Swiftperch, you too have proven yourself a valued friend of the Thalassocracy. Admiral. May I present to you Admiral Blothiswin,
So, this is the adventurer I've been reading about in the field reports. I am Melve Blufisvin, Admiral of Limsa Lominsa. On behalf of my people, I bid you thanks for the deeds you have done this day. A token of our gratitude. What worth is high regard without just reward after all? Ha! Since you first set foot in our city, my good friend Badaron and Commodore Rayner have taken turns at regaling me with tales of your exploits. Safe to say, they left an impression. Join me at the coming banquet. A seat of honor at the celebratory feast is the least I can offer the woman who foiled the Sahagin.
Oh! A seat at the feast!
Oh, and don't be late. Your fellow guests will be eager to take the measure of their newest hero, and some do not take kindly to being kept waiting. Till then, may you walk in the light of the crystal.
I'm not sure you understand just how unusual it is for the Admiral to invite an adventurer to a state banquet. It is a highly coveted honour, why even officers under her direct command are rarely afforded such recognition. But I will not deny that you have earned it. Many of the tasks you have performed in service to the thalassocracy have been both difficult and dangerous. This is a reward for all your efforts, a nod to your many achievements, both large and small. Has the enormity of this moment yet to sink in? Perchance you will realise its significance when you stand before an assembled dignitaries of Lominsa. Now that I have imagined the scene, I realise you will require attire suitable for the occasion. Might I suggest you visit the wench and see what Badroon can arrange? He is surprisingly knowledgeable about such things. Well, well, if it ain't Melloweb's guest of honour. Hobnobbing with the high and mighty now, is it? I'll take you, lass. I damn near snorted ale out my nose when I heard the news. You've come a long bloody way, you have, and that's the truth. Well, one thing's for sure, you'll not want for a decent grub. These banquets are catered by the bleeding Bismarck, no less. It's a grand chance for your belly to fill your belly to bursting with, and more importantly, free food. But we can't have you turning up in your shite cake venturing gear. No, the hero of the hour needs to have a touch more refinement about her, if only to stop folk complaining when she stuffs her face with cake. Take yourself over to the Octant and speak with Ginasthim, or the Bugare Consortium. She'll furnish you a somewhat ladylike to wear. I've already had a word with her. All you need to do is pick up the goods, then bring them back here so I can tell you what's what. Good evening, miss. I assume you are underdressed. You are underdressed lady, Badalon mentioned. I see he was not exaggerating. I have chosen these specifically for your debut in polite society. Fear not. I am certain you will absolutely adore. Been to see Janashim, have you? Let's have a look at the box then. Here we go, a nice pair of dress shoes for you. Our lass mightn't have much else to her name, but as long as she's got a decent pair of shoes on her feet, there ain't nowhere she can't go. Think of them as a gift from me and all the other folk you've done right by along the way. Aye, it's a very moving gesture, I know, just don't go welling up on me, would you? Wouldn't do for Limsa's newest hero to turn up to the banquet soaked in her own tears and snot. Any road. That's your garb sorted. Now you just need to settle your nerves. Tell me when you're ready and I'll tell you where you're meant to go. You're ready then, are you? Good. The banquet will be starting soon, and if you waited any longer, I considered it my civic duty to hit you over the head and drag you there. Now, make sure you're wearing them fancy shoes when you turn up, alright? Carrying them won't do no good. They're meant to make you look like a lady, remember? Not a lady's bleeding lackey. As for directions, the feast being held on the bridge, in the Admiral's briefing room. Speak with Zathiel in Bulwark's Hall, and he will show you the way. Just keep your head held high. After everything you've done for Limsa, you've good enough reason to be proud. Don't let no highborn bugger tell you different. Dress shoes, fancy dress shoes, an adventurer wearing fancy dress shoes. Oh, now those are some fancy dress shoes. Come, adventurer, I will show you to the briefing room.
Brothers and sisters of the sea, join me now in honoring this woman for her services to our great nation. May the navigator guide and protect her on her journey till sea swallows all. These pirates you encountered with the tattooed faces, they call themselves the Serpent Reavers. Their ranks are formed of cutthroats and madmen who have pledged themselves body and soul to the primal Leviathan. From what we have gathered, they sought to swell their numbers by spiriting away any soul unfortunate enough to cross their path. I need not tell you the depth of the animosity between us and the Sahagin. How any seaman worth his salt could devote himself to the fishback's god is a question for a more temperate mind than mine. But, thanks to you, our citizens may once more go about their daily lives, safe in the knowledge that they will not be dragged into the darkness by those execrable curs.
Such an extraordinary glow. This is one of the crystals of light.
By the navigator.
After our encounter with the Gubu, you had a vision, did you not? You bathed in her light.
Yashtola's conclusion is clear, and I see no reason to doubt it. You are the vessel of a higher power. This being from your vision was the Mother Crystal. Your description matches what little we know of her. And if she has chosen you, then your deeds may yet shape the fate of nations, as once did the deeds of the Warriors of Light. Know you the tale? Like you, they were not of these lands, yet they fought to protect us all against the corruption of the Primals. When the Garlean Empire began its conquest of the realm, these heroes joined the Grand Companies and helped reforge the Eorzean Alliance. And at the Battle of Cartano, they took the field beneath our banners to fight for everything we hold dear. It was on that day, in the midst of that hell, that we lost them. Every soul who survived that battle will never forget how it was to fight beside them. We are proud to call them our comrades. Yet whenever we try to shout their names, the sound dies in our throats. And whenever we strain to see their faces with our mind's eye, naught but their shadows appear to us, set against a blinding light. Ask any true Eorzean who knew them, and the story will be the same. It is for this reason that we call them the Warriors of Light. When I look upon you, I cannot help but be reminded of them. Keep that crystal safe. In time, I believe the Mother Crystal will make clear her reasons for bestowing it upon you. Heed well her words, adventurer, for it is Hydaelyn herself who speaks.
Flames to the fore! Victory belongs to the bold! Show those Imperial whore sons what we're made of!
The left flank buckles. Divert the barracudas. Bid them hold that position, though it costs them their lives.
The yellow serpents are in need of succor. Pray, send the white wolves to their aid. The adventurers risk life and limb for our cause. We must not fail them.
Is aught amiss?
No, it is nothing.
Bloody hells! The barrier won't go down so easily! Eyes forward!
We are being watched.
Raging Bull, calling Bloodthorn! Bloodthorn, respond! Respond, damn you!
Raging Bull, this is Mad Snake. Respond.
Ryder, this is Raging Bull. What news?
We're surrounded by a blaze. There is no way out. God preserve, what is that thing?
What's going on? Speak to me!
God damn it! We cannot hold much longer.
Mad Snake! Mad Snake! Answer me! Damn it! Damn it all to the seventh hell!
What of the barracudas? Can they not be reached?
Sorry, Admiral. Shell's not working.
What of our own?
I cannot say, my lady. That monstrosity appears to be disrupting our communications.
We must keep trying. Call till they respond.
Yes, my lady.
Admiral, General, we can do no more. We must give the order to withdraw.
I will not forsake Louis Soir!
General, please. Victory may belong to the bold, but there will be no victor this day. You know this to be true. Let us not sacrifice lives in vain. The The adventurers fight bravely, but to no avail. Let them withdraw, and let us be the ones to stand with Louis Soir.
Belay previous orders. All Maelstrom units are commanded to fall back. Give the foreign levy priority. Let the main host cover their retreat and bring up the rear.
Damn it! Relay the order. All flames are to withdraw. I don't care if our link cells are useless. You still have a work...
The outcome of this battle was long since decided. Better to retreat now than risk a massacre. This dark, stifling presence. Who or what? We go to take our place beside Archon Louis Soir. To your positions.
Kasbamul, Soginin Wese Dontul.
That I should live to behold Bahamut once more.
Logalo, Asawad Daken Bet Mubut.
Magnificent. The eons of imprisonment have only made him hungrier.
Imarat Way, Kiskatoga Hearts Wadadorns.
I am aware of them. They them no mind, they are powerless to act.
Seize Nigem, Fizdun the only Lamra Sadai Dorn.
It has begun. Soon the planet will regain its true form. Morning, sunshine. All a bit much for you, was it? What happened? Ah, you don't remember then. You keeled over in the middle of the banquet and caused a right stir. Had to carry you back to the winch myself. Well, I say carry, it was more a matter of dragging and rolling. Too much cake, I reckon. Any road, don't fret. 'Tis little wonder you are exhausted after everything you've been through lately. Your little nap seems to have put some colour back in your cheeks, though, so I'll leave you to it. Bugger, I almost forgot. The Admiral wants to have a word with you. When you feel up to it, talk to Xanthale, and he'll let you into the command room. And stay awake here, until Merriwib was in the middle of telling you a story when you started snoring last time. I doubt she'd look kindly on it if you repeated the trick. Greetings, Kate Admiral. Blathis awaits you in the command room. Shall I announce you? Ah, Kate. It is good to see you on your feet again. You are recovered. Then let us waste no time. I have a task that needs doing, one I would entrust to no other. The duty I have in mind for you requires some explanation. I do hope you have not made other plans. To business, then. I have penned a letter to each of my counterparts in the Eorzean Alliance. Battle of Cartino and the calamity that followed claimed countless lives. It has been 5 years since those of us who were spared dragged ourselves from the ashes to look upon the nausea we scarcely knew. 5 years, and yet the people still suffer. Their lives are fraught with worry and hardship. The warriors of light who might once have given them hope are gone. Yet we must press on regardless. We never truly do so, however, till we have faced our past. To that end, I am proposing that a memorial service will be held in each of the city-states on the 5th anniversary of the Battle of Cartino. These letters contain details of said proposal. And I would have you deliver them to our allies as my personal envoy. You have proven yourself a staunch and able ally to Limsa. That is not my only reason for choosing you. No, I choose you because you possess a quality which puts me in mind of history's champions. Quality I feared lost. Say that you will perform this duty. I knew you would not disappoint me. This task shall take you far from the borders of our nation, the city-states of Gridania and Ul'dah. A grueling journey, to be sure, for you to travel by sea and land, but I mean to have you take to the skies. An airship pass to be used at your discretion. Airships bound for the nations of our allies leaves from the landing connected to the bridge. Before you depart, I suggest you trouble Battering for a few pearls of wisdom regarding each of your destinations. The old bastard is nothing if not well travelled. It is a pity I cannot issue such passes with a free hand, as I did in more peaceful times, when berths were not so limited. But in these times of war, every craft we commit to the clouds risks drawing the eye of the Empire, and each voyage must needs be born of necessity. Lest you doubt, I consider your place well deserved. Nor am I alone in that opinion. There were other parties who would see you granted the privilege of air travel. Aye, Cade, your deeds do not go unnoticed. Full many see great promise in you, but I have flattered you enough. On behalf of Limsa, Lominsa and her people, I bid you go forth, adventurer. Discover the realm for which so many have fought and died. Wonder and danger await you in equal measure, but turn not from either. Only by braving the unknown will you achieve the greatness of which you are surely capable. The light of the crystal guides you, and I wager that your destiny will be no small thing. Back from your meeting with the Admiral, are you? Personal bleeding envoy. So you'll be carrying the word of the Admiral herself to the leaders of the Alliance? Bugger me, I knew you was going up in the world, but I didn't realise you got that bloody high. I'm proud of you, lass. Thinking of how far you've come, why, 'tis enough to bring a tear to me eye. That ain't the ale talking neither. Well, not just the ale at any rate. Bless the navigator for steering you my way. Of course, this is only the start. Now you've got your hands on an airship pass that all of Eorzea has laid out before you, like a fair maid on a feather bed. And she's a big girl too, with plenty of enticing nooks and crannies. If you think us Lominsians are characters, just wait till you cross paths with the grim forest dwellers of Gridania, or the trade coins, or with the crafty merchants of Ul'dah. And then there's the wild places where the beasties rule. No bugger with an ounce of sin sets foot. You're an adventurer, so I wouldn't let a little thing like that hold you back. Of course, it ain't all exploring in itself. There's an heap of troubles that plagues every nation sea. Tain't just ours. I'm talking intrigue and infighting, beastmen and their goddamn primals. Aye, there's an ugly side to life, and sooner or later you're bound to walk into it. But I'll wager there's bugger all out there you can't handle. Summit tells me you're gonna be just fine. The realm's had rough, 'tis true, but folk beginning to recover from the beating the calamity dealt them. Call me an hopeless optimist, but it wouldn't take much to turn things round. Just the perfect time for an adventurer like yourself to get out there and make a difference. Well, what are you waiting for? Greetings, madam. This is the counter for passengers travelling to Grotto. Wait, aren't you that famous adventurer? It's, Quai d'Essayer, isn't it? I thought I recognised you. You're an inspiration to all of us, madam. Highwind Skyways is at your disposal. Will you be travelling with us today? Attention all passengers, the airship bound for Grotto is about to depart. Please make your way to the boarding gate. Good fortune to you, kid. The day'll come when your name means the same as hero to the folk of this realm. May you walk in the light of the crystal.
It has been 15 years, but the bitter taste of defeat lingers still. 15 years since the Imperial fleet set course for Mordona, led by the Agrios, mightiest of all vessels. Silver Till lay ripe for the taking, and all of Eorzea would soon be ours. Or so we believed. But an innumerable host of dragons met us that day, at the heart of which flew the great Midgard Zormer. Though we succeeded in slaying that lord among worms, the dread serpent's defeat was bought at too high a price. Our invincible flagship was lost, and all hope of victory with her. So ended our glorious conquest. Eorzea, a blighted realm, riddled with false gods. Twice now it has eluded the Empire's grasp. For all the destruction it wrought, even Meteor, the great sin, failed to yield us control over it. And for this failure, the realm has sunk deeper into depravity. It is twisted beyond all reckoning, rotten nigh to the core. Yet it must be saved. Only Garlean rule can bring order to Eorzea. It falls to us to deliver the misguided masses from their ignorance.
We are of one mind, Lord Van Balzar.
report to Magitech research following scheduled inspection.
Hey, is the Legatus really planning to take another tilt at the Orsia?
Hey? What hole have you been hiding in? We're in the midst of preparing for a new campaign, and a huge one at that.
But I thought the Emperor had given up the Western lands for lost after Cartano. What could the Legatus possibly hope to gain by acting alone?
I sense you harbor certain doubts over the wisdom of the Legatus's plan.
My lord!
Please, call me Nero. Tell me, where were you born?
Othard, my lord.
Alamigo, my lord.
Ah, codename Hummingway, I presume.
I don't know what you...
Silence. Your denials will not change your fate. I assure you, Frumentarium sees all. Clean up this mess, and do not miss any, or I shall be most displeased.
At once, my lord.
Garland, soon you will be made to know the true power of Magitech.
Ah, you must be the envoy from Limsa. Welcome to Grotto, madam. The Elder Seer awaits your arrival. Greetings, good madam. You are the Lominsan Envoy, not? I have received instructions to await you. Pray make your way to the city proper and identify yourself to the conjurer at Nofka's altar. She will admit you to Lotus Stand, where the Elder Seer awaits. Right, and from here the quests all line up with the free starting zone. So I am going to end this one here. And if you want to check out, we are also done a video for the Uldar starting experience and the Danian starting experience. And then their next video in the series will be from the Envoy mission onwards. So thank you for coming, thank you for joining, and we will see you all next time.